Parshas Tetzaveh Rishon. V'ata Tetzaveh B'nei Yisrael. You Moshe Rabbeinu should command the Eden. What should you command them? Yikhrei lecha shemazai zach chasis tamar. They shall take for you pure olive oil, crush for lighting. Lahalis netamid, to kindle the lamps continually. Rashi says v'ata Tetzaveh zach b'li shemanim. That means without any sediments. Moshe Shaninu b'menachis, as the Gemara Menachos says, megardei b'rish hazayis. He allows it to ripen at the top of the olive trees. Chasis crush, hazes and kedesh b'mafdeshes. He would crush the olives in a mortar, but he did not grind them in a mill. Why? So that they will not contain any sediments. After he has extracted the first drop of oil, he places them, in other words, the olives, into a mill and grinds them. And the second oil is unfit for the meneda. However, it's fit for the meal operation. As it says, and crushed for lighting. And the Gemara learns out, but not crushed for menachos. They kindle the lamps continually. The Kain has to make sure that the light has to be, not to light it and walk away, but it has to light until the flames rises by itself. Tamid continually, Tamid means every night. Like it says, which is only from day to day. Because in other words, the minute did not last 24 hours, it lasted only to the morning. And also in regards to the flat pan meal offering, the Kayan says Tamid, although it's only it's offered up only half in the morning and half in the evening. The word Tamid mentioned concerning the showbread literally means from Shabbos to Shabbos continually. In the tent of meeting, outside the dividing curtain that is in front of the testimony, where should that Aaron and his sons shall set it up before the Eberster from evening to morning. Should be an everlasting statue for the generations from the children of Eden. In other words, put a measure enough in oil that it will burn from evening to morning. And the Chacham estimated how much is that. It's a half of a log, in other words, between 6 and 12.6 fluid ounces for the nights of Tevis. And similarly for all the nights. If there remains oil, it doesn't matter. Okay, but no new Perek. Perek Chof Ches Aleph. V'ata and you shall bring your brother Aaron and his sons with him. From amongst the Yidden to serve me as Canaan. Aaron Nadav Avihu Elazar Samar. Aaron Nadav and Avihu Elazar Samar. Bnei Aaron, sons of Aaron, Rashi, V'ata Hakriv Elacha, and you bring near to yourself, you bring Aaron and his sons with him. After you complete the work of the Mishkan. Pasuk Beis, Vasisa be the Kiddush Aaron Achicha, you shall make holy garments for your brother Aaron, the Chavi Luciferus, and for honor and glory. Gimel, Ba'ata and you, to that Dabrel Kol Chachmei Lev, you shall speak to the wise-hearted people. Ashem Le'isiv Ruach Chachma, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom. Also speak to Aaron the Kachah the Chanedi, and you shall make Aaron's garment to sanctify him, so that he serve me as a Kain. Rashi says the Kachah the Chaneli, the Kachah La'achnise B'Kona de Begotim Shi'akain Li, which means to sanctify him, to initiate him in the Kedusha through these garments, so that he would be a Kain to me. Lashin Kuhunas Sheyesu, the expression of Kuhuna means service. Shintra Balaz. Dalet. Vehilab Gadol Mashiyasu, and these are the garments that you shall make for the Kain Gadol. Chayshin, showing the Chayshin, Ve'ephid, U'Me'il, so you have the Chayshin, you have the Ephid, you have the Me'il, so in the Tashbitz, a tunic of checker work, Tashbitz, B'Stefes V'Abne, the cap, and a sash. Will also be the Kiddush, the Aaron, Achich Levan of L'Chaneli. You shall make holy garments for your brother Aaron, for his sons to serve me. So Rashi says, Chayshin, what's the Chayshin? Tashbit, Keneged Alev. This is an ornament opposite the heart. Ve'ephid, and Ephid, L'Shemaiti, V'Matzasi, B'Raisa, Pirush Tavnisi. Rashi says, I did not hear that it was a garment, and I have no tradition concerning the Ephid. And I did not find the explanation in a brisa. So Rashi says, "V'libi eimer li shu chagur le'macherev." My heart tells me that the Kohen Gadol was girded with an ephod from behind. Rachvi k'richen gav ish. It's width like the width of an average man's back. And in Sinner shekidin portanish belaz. It's like a kind of an apron called porzint. It's a type of belt. It's like an apron back of front that princes wear, that they ride horsebacks. So it was made from below. But as it says by David, and David was girded with linen ephod. Teaches us that ephod was a belt. It's impossible, however, to say that it was only a belt, because it says, and he put the ephod on him. But after they say, and afterwards he girded him with a band of an ephod. And the Targum says, so we learn that the chesha was the band, and the ephod was a separate, like the cord. Now, it's also possible to say because of the two shoulder straps in it, it's called the ephod. Why should I never stay safe? It says two shoulder straps of the ephod. It teaches us that the ephod was a separate entity, shoulder straps were a separate entity, and the band was a separate entity. So we learned that the ephod was a separate entity, the shoulder straps were a separate entity, and the band was a separate entity. Therefore I say, because of the ephod below, that I called ephod. Because it adorns him with it. And he decorated him with it. Chesha was a band above, to which the shoulder straps were attached. Furthermore, my heart tells me that there's evidence that it's a kind of garment. As Yenison says, and David was girded with a linen ephod. Kartut duutz. It says kartut duutz, and renders likewise meilim as kartutin. For in the manner of a king's virgin, daughter is dressed in robes. So the story, a famous story of Rashi, that he saw this picture, this lady riding on a horse with this ephod. And he was upset. Why had to see such why did he have to see such a sight? And then that's what he says. Then afterwards, the Eibishter showed it to him because he wanted to know what an ephod is. So he says, "V'libi omerli, mi'elu kimin cholok." It's a kind of tunic, chen aksenis, and as is the ksenis. The ksenis is worn on his flesh. And the megil, which is called outside the robe. What's a checker work? It's made of boxes for beauty. The boxes are similar to holes made in gold jewelry as a setting for precious stones and pearls. As it says, regarding the ephod enclosed in gold settings. It's called a shtunat. Castles, yeah. Okay, mitzvahs. What's a mitzvahs? Kipas keva. It's a type of dome-shaped hat. Shekayin kupia belas. It's called a kupia. Malkam acher kairlahem mikbois. Tenor calls it mikbois. Targum says it's a keva. It's the type of yarmulke they hat.
You know where it's fought, which is like that. Isn't that like a hair? And then you do that hair in like a belt.
Yeah, I don't know. Va'avneit and a sash chagura ala kseinis va'ifid chagura lamil. So this is the belt on the tunic, and the ephod is the belt on the robe. As we find in order that they were put on, and he put on the tunic, and he girded with sash, folded him with the robe, put him on the ephod. From the offering sanctified for my name, they shall make it. Hey, They shall take the gold. The blue, the purple, the crimson one, the linen. Those wise-hearted people who are to make the garments shall receive from the donors the gold, the blue wool, in which to make the garments.
They should take it. From where?
From the people that donate. Yeah. Also say they should make the ephod should be gold, blue, purple, crimson wool, and twisted fine wool, the work of a master weaver. Rashi says, Rashi says, if I would have tried to explain the making of an ephod and the chesed according to the order of the psukim, the explanation would be very mixed up, and the reader would make mistakes. So therefore Rashi says, therefore I'm writing first how they were made, so that the reader will be able to read it quickly. And then I'm going to explain the psukim. So Rashi says this: Ha'ephod also min kimin siner shal nashim reich v'susum. The ephod was designed like a sort of apron worn by women who ride horsebacks. And the Kohen Gadol would gird himself from behind it, opposite the heart, below his elbows. Opposite the heart, below his elbows, its width is like equally the width of a man's back and more. Magia the kevev, and the ephod would reach the ankles. The bell was attached to the top of its across its width. It was the work. It was the work of a weaver, and extended to both sides in order to wrap the Kohen Gadol and gird himself with it. There's pictures of it. The shoulder straps were attached to the belts. One on the right and one on the left. Out at the back of the Kohen. At the two ends of the width of the apron. When he held the shoulder straps upright, they stood flat on the two shoulders. Like two straps were made of the same material as the ephod. So they were folded in front of the hem, slightly below the shoulders. And the they had the sham stones were set in them, one on the right shoulder and one on the left shoulder strap. The settings were placed at their ends in front of the shoulders. So the two ends of the right chains were inserted into the settings on the right. Similarly, the two ends of the left chains were inserted into the settings on the left shoulder. The chesed was suspended on the settings of the ephod in front of the Kohen Gadol over the hearts. There were two more rings on the two ends of the chesed at the bottom of it. It's like this. So the rings on the chesed were opposite the rings of the ephod, lying on each other. We would fasten them the rings with the blue cord, inserted through the rings of the ephod and the chesed, attached to the band of the ephod, so the bottom of the chesed would be attached to the band of the ephod and will not swing back and forth. These 5 kinds of substance were twisted into each thread. The workers flattened the gold into a sort of thin plate. I cut cords of them, the plates that spun them. So one thread of gold with 6 threads of blue wool, and one thread of gold with 6 threads of purple wool. Similarly with crimson wool and similarly with linen. So you had threads of all kinds were doubled 6-fold, and one thread of gold was twisted with each one of the thread. Afterwards, you would twist them all together, so the threads were doubled into 28 strands. The Chen footage in Setla Yuma. This is explained in the Gemara Yuma. It's explained, and it's derived from there that they flatten out the sheets of gold and he cut cords out of them. To as Psila Zav says, so he had the flattened out the sheets of gold and cut cords out of them to work the gold cords into the blue ball, into the purple wall. So we learned that the thread of gold was twisted into every single thread. Master Cheshev, a work of master weaver. Rashi says, Chitas. I've already explained. This is the weaving of the two walls. And that the figures of the two sides are unlike one another. Snake sepes chevres, it shall have two connected shoulder straps. Snake says of a chubar should have two connected shoulder straps at both ends, and it should be entirely connected. Snake sepes, the Rashi says, two shoulder straps. The apron was below, and the cheshev of the apron was built. And it was connected to the apron at the top. Dugma sinar nasham, similar to the apron of the woman. And the kain's back was connected to two pieces attached to the cheshev at two wide straps. Achas connected to kosav v'kosav. V'zek v'ashtek sivvesav ashnikwa is the fun of connected achazeh. Ayech v'borot l'taboy safeshin. The achazeh the fun of connected liba yishin nefdes moishim furish binyan. By the skufa is v'hochel connected sivish te abnei Hashem kvois men achas b'chol achas. So first of all, at the kain's back, it was connected to two pieces attached to the cheshev, like two wide straps, one opposite the other. They lifted these two shoulder straps so that they would hung in front of him on his chest, and through them being attached to the rings of the cheshen, they were held in place opposite the heart, not fallen, as explained in the Perek. And they would be straight over the shoulder, and the two sham stones were set into them, one on each strap. Ashtek Sesav, a rachmish la'efed, the width of the ephod, shlo'ayah rachmin elakneged gabish l'kain, the gabi connected in its cylinder. For its width was only against the kain's back, and its height extended opposite the elbows. Shekainin kudyash belaz, which are called kudis in French. Shenemar la'yachru biyaza, they should not gird themselves in a place that sweats. Ein chengin makam azeh, they will not gird themselves in a place of sweat. Le'lamaylamat tzilim, not above their elbows. Le'lamatam masleim, and not below their waist. Elakneged tzilim, but opposite their elbows. And it should be connected. The ephod with those two shoulder straps. The ephod, you shall connect them with sewing with the needles below. They should not weave them together, but weave them separately, and then connected. And its decorative band, which is above it, shall be the same work. Gold, blue, purple, and crimson wool, and twisted fine folds, fine linen. Rashi says, the belt by which the ephod decorates and enhances the kain's appearance and adorns it. Asher Allah, which is above the my libis vasasiner, above at the edge of the apron. Yachagura, which is the belt. Kamaaseo, at the same word. Kariga sinner, ma'isefeshu machamishes aminin. Just as the weaving of the apron was a work of a master's weaver of fine kinds. So was the weaving of the band, the work of the master weaver, and the 5 kinds of material. Emanating, it shall be woven with it, and he shall not weave it separately and attach it. Pasuk test, and you shall take 2 sham stones, you shall engrave upon them, the names of the Yidden, Shisham Mishamesam, Ala Eben Achas, 6 names on one of the stones, and the names of the remaining 6 of the second stones according to their birth. According to the order in which they were born. Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Adam, and Naftali was on one, Al-Achas. Al-Ashliya is God, Asher, Yisaf, as well, Yosef, Ben Yamin, and Mali. Shekenu Kasavim, welcome to Dosei, for it is written in the place of the birth, Chafei Esis, B'fal Achas, V'Achas, totaling 25 letters on each one stone. Yod Aleph, Ma'asi Chorash, similar to the work of an engraver of gems. Ma'asi Chorash Evan, similar to the work of an engraver of gems. Tuchi Chesim Tifatach Ashtei Avonim, similar to the engraving of the seal. You shall engrave the 2 stones. Ashmesh B'nai Yisrael, the names of the Yidden. Me'usabois M'tzezov Ta'asayisam, shall make them enclosed in gold settings. The Rashi Ma'asi Chorash Evan, Mase uman shel avonim, the work of the craftsmen of precious stones. Choresh the davik ula teva shel achelu. The word choresh is connected to the following word. Lafika kunafel patach b'sefer chatach patach b'sefer. That's when it has a patach at the end. V'chein choresh eitzim not a kab. The carpenter, like it says, the carpenter stretched out over the line. Choresh shel eitzim. V'chein choresh barsel matzah, the iron smith. Kolel dvukim p'tuchim. All these connected are therefore rabbis of the patach. To similar to the engraving of the seal, and go make sab mefresh kigloif the iska, as the Targum says. The letters are engraved inwardly as they engrave the seals of signets, which are used to seal letters. In a clear and explanatory script. Al shmeis kamei bishem mois. The shubas mitzvah, the kufay zavanim mitzvah zav. The stone shall be enclosed in gold settings. That you make the seat of the stone of gold like a sort of hole according to the measures of the stone. Yes, standing like a sort of hole according to the measure of the stone, and sinking the stone to the setting. So the setting would encircle the stone, and the setting would be attached to the shoulder straps of the ephod. Last pasuk, the samta eshtei avonim al kisvei ha'ephod, and you shall put the two stones upon the shoulder straps of the ephod. Al kisvei ha'ephod amnei zikaron l'bnei Yisrael. The stones are the remembrance of the sons of Israel. Na'asas Aaron and Shmuel of the Alinei of take sefer is the zikaron, and now shall carry the names before Hashem on the shoulders as zikaron. Zakash zikaron she'arei HaKadosh Baruch Hu as a shvatim ksuvim l'fanav v'yiskar tzidbasam. So the Eibishter will see the tribes written before him, and he will remember their righteousness.